Mute your audio and video. Participants, kindly mute your audio and video.
எப்படி இங்க பாரு இதான் மியூட் பண்ணிட்டா
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon to everybody. And this is Rosina here. Ma'am, let's start our today's section start with a prayer by Raivanatul Adaviya, Department of Arabic in our college.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Idza jaa nasrullahi wal fath ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا سيدخلون في دين الله Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's hand over the sections to the resource person. Ma'am, kindly
Yes,
take
I'm
over
here.
it, ma'am.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Permit me to share my screen, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So, today is the second day. Very
Yes,
glad. What we are doing is 21st century teaching skills. So, we have already reached the middle, 7 to 19. Today is 18th. But I want to make certain clarifications because when I saw the chat, I had a feeling I can't see your chat when I'm sharing the screen. So in case you want to ask a question, please type in the chat and the organizers will tell me. And they can note it down, they can tell me because I want it to be a two-way communication. So I thought I must clear it once more before we move any further. The topic for 21st Century Skills webinar series is to equip teachers with teaching skills they need to teach in the 21st century. And 21st century has already started and 20 years have passed, 2 decades have gone. So the purpose is to equip teachers with teaching skills they need to teach in the 21st century. It is not to introduce teachers to a list of 21st century skills. There is a difference because it says teaching skills. It does not say teaching 21st century skills. And the objective of the first webinar was to suggest applicability of 3 domains of learning, 6 domains of knowledge in Bloom's taxonomy, and higher order thinking skills in teaching students. It was not to reiterate the concept of 3 domains of learning or 6 domains of knowledge in Bloom's taxonomy and higher order thinking skills. In simple words, I was not trying to give a webinar on what these 3 things are. The idea was how we can, because all of us are teachers and most of us are familiar with them, how we can use them in the 21st century. The focus of the first webinar was on teachers teaching skills. It was not only on students learning 21st century skills. Now, since teaching and learning go hand in hand, it is not possible to talk exclusively about teaching skills without mentioning how these may impact learning. Because, why? Because education is transferring knowledge and skills from teachers to students. If anyone has any confusion, please raise your hand. The organizers will tell me what the problem is, or put in the chat box as you wish. Without mentioning how these may impact learning. Because, why? Because education is Sister Priyanka there? And skills from teachers to students. If anyone has Is there any question, something? Anybody wants to ask? Because I want, this is the first step.
No.
We should not take Mrs. Step.
No, ma'am, no, ma'am.
No. Okay, thank you so much. So let us see where we go from here. Okay. Yesterday we did this tasks, sorry. And my question was, can a KG teacher use these to teach? Forget about KG teacher for a minute. Just think this task we realized involves 3 domains of learning. And because it has involved all 3 domains of learning, it involves so many of these skills, 21st century skills in it automatically. For example, life skills, ethical, cultural competence, and communication, collaboration, So just by adding that, taking the fruit to the class, cutting them, offering them with students, she has included so many other skills. In this one, again, because this was another example of the same, putting these three together, three domains of learning. An English teacher who's teaching this Wordsworth's poem, Daffodils. She takes daffodils to the class and see what happens. Again, she adds some, besides the core content knowledge and creativity, and she can also include cross-disciplinary knowledge if she wants. She adds life skills, ethical and emotional awareness, because flowers are very emotional. Everybody, either you love a flower or you don't like it. There is nothing in between. Cultural competence, because the teacher can talk about Chinese New Year, etc. Again, along with these three domains of learning, when we add Bloom's taxonomy, why I put it there? Because the four domains, higher domains, they are the same as higher order thinking skills. So I tried to put them together so that we actually use both of them at the same time by doing only one thing. And in this task, like botany, about this food web, the forest, and this another food web, teacher has included life skills, ethical, emotional awareness. Everybody has a feeling for animals. Cultural competence, core content knowledge is of course there. She has, in the last two, you will see, she has also added a lot of cross-disciplinary knowledge. Creativity she has added. Problem solving, because you cannot make a video, without solving problems. There will be 100 problems in your way. Communication and collaboration, if she's giving it as a group task. And this question, where I said, can a KG teacher give task number 10, this one here, write a play for 6 to 7 years old. Write a play for primary school children using food relationship. Can we give this to kindergarten? Can a kindergarten teacher give it to her students? This requires a bit of creativity, because yesterday somebody has said no, which is fine because that is a literal interpretation of the question. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll see how we can creatively interpret the question and make use of it for inspiring kindergarten children. Inshallah, we'll see it tomorrow. So today's topic is critical thinking and others. So webinar 2, this will be our outline. We'll go about what is critical thinking very briefly. Okay. Uses of critical thinking, why we need it, and how to teach critical thinking skills. Then we'll very briefly talk about social skills and teaching, what is the relationship, and what is metacognition and how to teach metacognition. So we already have 6 jobs to complete in another 35-40 minutes. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is actually, this diagram is very often used, but you will see sometimes people change these places. Problem solving, then decision making, then evaluating, it happens. That doesn't mean this particular diagram is wrong or what they are saying is wrong. It is about the process. In simple words, critical thinking is our ability to make a clear and informed decision after considering all available evidence. And it is a combination of higher order thinking skills, analyzing, applying, everything, 3 of until applying, they all appear here. Many other cognitive skills like observing, interpreting, explaining, inferencing, etc. are used in analyzing, reasoning, evaluating, problem solving, and decision making. So we just cannot take these 4. There are many other skills, cognitive skills, skills of the mind, which come here. Critical thinking is the ability to objectively and honestly examine various pieces of information before making an important decision. And we'll see it is important for making decisions of life and death. Thinking critically is not just thinking clearly, but also thinking independently so as to form an opinion and draw conclusions without outside pressure. Now see, let's see an example. This mother here, she has two children, a boy and a girl. Both suffer from serious kidney problems. Imagine, it's a fiction. The doctor suggested kidney transplant. Mother can donate one kidney to save one child. Whom should she try to save, son or daughter? Please type your answers in the chat box. Let us take 10, 15 answers. Just be quick. Whom should she save?
Ma'am, Raufanisha told the daughter.
Daughter, she should save daughter.
Yes, ma'am. Then Gautam told a boy.
Who said boy?
That
Some people say boy.
Gautam, yes, ma'am, Gautam, and then Nahid Zafar told boy, ma'am. Son.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. But the trouble is we know nothing about them. While giving this answer, you did not have enough information. You have not examined various pieces of information.
Most of them told boy, ma'am.
Boy, like this is the best thing. Whenever I use it, people go by this thing, oh boy and girl. No, a mother cannot do like that. She had to sit down. She had to examine all various pieces of information. And then she has to make a decision. For example, she can only give one kidney. She cannot give both. She'll die. If she gives both, she'll die. Then who will look after her children? If she gives one kidney to daughter, who will look after the son? Will this daughter be able to look after the son? We don't know. If she gives it to son, okay, he'll survive. But then older sister, she may not survive. So who will look after this boy? It's not an easy decision to make for anyone. And God forbid if anyone has to make such a decision. But this shows that we have answered without actually examining various pieces of information, simply because we don't have. Looking at the picture, we cannot make a decision. Do you realize that if we make a decision only by looking at the photo, it is not critical thinking? Am I clear? Yes or no? Will this daughter be able to look after the son? We don't know. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, you can see in 21st century skills, problem solving and critical thinking is here very, very important. So what do we do? Teachers must have critical thinking skills so that they can teach these skills to their students in the following area. Why you must have as a teacher? Because I'll come to it. Education is transferring knowledge and skills from teachers to students. If a teacher doesn't have critical thinking skills, how will she or he transfer it to her or his students? You must have it first, then only you can give it to others. Okay, so okay. Teachers can teach these skills to their students in the following areas. Where? To interpret data, to evaluate research material, to differentiate between fact and opinion, to comprehend reading text accurately, to prioritize tasks and arrange timetable. I mean, study timetable is a huge thing. How will you organize? Exam preparation timetable is a huge thing. To understand the problem and find correct solutions. These are life skills as well as academic skills. To evaluate evidence, claims, and arguments. To draw logical conclusions. To decide whether an argument is true, partially true, or false. In making political decisions. This is so important. Critical thinking in making political decisions, because there are far-reaching consequences whom you vote for. Now, you may vote for a person who's very happy to build a huge statue for tourists, but is not building 3 hospitals for the poor people. So what are our priorities? If I have a empathy for poor people, if I think something to be done, I'll not vote for a person who says he'll make a huge statue for tourists. So we need to have these critical thinking skills. And we need critical thinking skills to know good from evil, so that we keep away from sins. And there is some kind of concept sin in all religions. To make morally correct decisions, in developing leadership skills, to act on issues which are important to humanity. If my neighbor is hungry, isn't it my duty to offer some food? Okay, we'll eat little less, but I must offer it to them. So we have to act on those issues which are important to humanity. And these so many areas, you can see they fit here also. With critical thinking, when your students have learned critical thinking, they'll also be able to do creative thinking. And this is a list of 21st century skills. Their communication will be clearer. It will not be vague, I'll do this, no. It will be very clear what they want to say. So their communication will improve, their speech will improve, their writing will improve, and ultimately their grades will improve. Information literacy, as we will see. Like, how do I decide the information I'm getting is true or partially true or false? Media literacy, we'll see in a minute how it helps. Leadership skills, life skills. 21st century skill is adapting to new situations, cross-cultural understanding, etc. It helps you understand that all cultures are not the same. What I like in my culture, or which is very important to me in my culture, may not be important to other people. So how do we learn to respect each other? Only because I stick to my point of view, because it is important in my culture, I cannot go on arguing, picking up a fight with people in whose culture it is not important. Problem solving, it's important. So by teaching critical thinking, you can help the students in so many areas, and at the same time, you will be teaching them 21st century skills also. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, how can we teach critical thinking? Now, the thing is that critical thinking is very difficult to teach, but it is not very difficult to learn. What we can do is, remember yesterday when we talked about which one is a skill, people said dying is not a skill. Why dying is not a skill? We cannot, among other reasons, we cannot practice dying again and again. Once we are dead, we are dead. So learning a new skill needs practice. Since it is difficult to teach, but not so difficult to learn, teachers can give practice to students in higher order thinking skills like applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. And this you can do across the subjects. You can do it in language classes, in science classes. I don't know about IT classes because I never taught, I don't know. But I'm sure there must be some, applying should be there in IT classes too. So when these skills, students practice doing these skills, thinking, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating, definitely they'll improve their critical thinking as well. Now, instead of giving explicit answers, what teachers can do is they can ask questions to direct the student to the answer. This is I think it's a crime if a teacher gives the answer to students, because you take away their learning opportunity by giving the answer. And I have seen teachers who say, these are the questions, these are the answers, and you go and you memorize and you pass. That's not education. You are destroying the child from learning. Teachers can frequently ask open-ended questions where students have to answer in detail. Now, this I have taken a very simple example, the story of rabbit and tortoise. You can ask, why do you think the rabbit fell asleep halfway through the race? Why did he fall asleep? And they say, if you are asking very small children, they'll say, oh, because he wanted to sleep. Somebody will say no, because he thought he's going to win the race. You can ask similar questions to higher levels. Even if when you are teaching literature, you can ask. And teachers must create an atmosphere of openness in their class so that students present their views without hesitation. And again, this is across the band. Primary, secondary, tertiary, you must have that kind of openness. Because I have seen some of the college students also, they are very hesitant to present their views. A college student should be ready to present their views and defend them. Two options. When you present your views, the others may refute them. If they refute, listen to their explanation. If necessary, change your opinion. If you think no, what you believe in is still very, very correct, then you stand the ground. But there is no necessity to keep shut, not present your ideas, because social skills are also involved in this. Organize frequent open discussions in the classroom, especially during language lessons. Most children who are learning in English, let's say second language or third language, they can write, but they don't know how to speak. So, open discussion. And when you organize open discussions, so many other communication skills, pronunciation, and social skills, they all come together along with critical thinking. Teach students how to disagree respectfully rather than shouting and picking up a fight. You cannot live your life without learning how to disagree respectfully. If somebody says what I am saying is wrong, that doesn't mean I'll go and jump in the sea. I can always say, no, your opinion may be correct, but I don't agree. So disagree respectfully. It's a very important skill. Encourage brainstorming. Teach them to brainstorm for ideas so that they can collect lots of ideas, because critical thinking, creativity, it goes hand in hand. Any question? You cannot live your life without learning how to disagree respectfully. If somebody says what I'll be very happy if you have a question, please ask.
Dear participants, kindly ask any questions. No questions, ma'am.
No question, my God. How
Yes,
come no
yes,
question?
ma'am.
I don't think I'm speaking so clearly that there is no question. I don't.
Yes, yes, right.
It is very, very difficult to speak so well that
Ma'am,
you know
from
how.
Rabia Fargin, there's some question, ma'am. How do we apply odds in lower grades?
How do we?
Apply odds in lower grades.
There is a word. How do we? What is the word after that?
Apply odds
Uh-huh.
in.
No, I'm not getting the word.
HOTS, ma'am. Odds.
Oh, HOTS, higher order thinking skills in?
Yes, in lower grades.
Oh my God, very good question. Very good question. I'm so happy you asked. Actually, all these skills we are talking about, they should be taught right from kindergarten. This is why even yesterday I put that question about kindergarten. By the time students come to the college, it is already too late. We should start teaching them. And I have given you like this flowers and this. Tomorrow again, we'll talk about that, how to write a play. And you will see when you ask them to do creative thinking, the student has to, the learner has to think whether I should take this or this. Should I say rabbit is sleeping or should I say rabbit has slept? Should the rabbit now sleep or not sleep? So higher order thinking skills must be taught at home before the child starts going. You have to do simple things. Like I'll give you one example. Higher order thinking skills are comparing, evaluating. So when I give a shower to my children, I never decide what the clothes. I ask, like my daughter, I'll say, which frock you want to wear, red or blue? So she'll decide which one to. Then she tells me, okay, Mom, you tell me which one should I wear. I said, okay, you wear red. She said, no, I think I'll wear blue. So when I say you wear red, she realizes she doesn't want to wear red today. Of course, she'll wear it tomorrow. So giving choices to children is extremely important. And if you want, we can have a completely separate webinar on how to do it, because we need to start teaching these higher order thinking skills right in kindergarten. Is it okay? Or any further question, please?
Ma'am, from Narayanan. Ma'am, why is it is difficult to teach critical thinking?
Because it is very complex. How many can you teach? See, let us go back. Where is that? See, you have to teach analyzing, reasoning, evaluating, problem solving, making decision, observation, interpretation, explanation, inferencing, analyzing, reasoning. So there is so much to teach. If you give them practice, how will you do it? Which one will you teach first? And it is abstract. We cannot see whether the student is learning. So best thing is to give them practice. And when they start applying it to their answers, you will know they are learning or not. Yeah, any more? Let us go back. Where is that? See, you have to teach analyzing, any more? Evaluating.
Ma'am, from Gautam. Any methods in engineering to improve storming?
Any method to improve?
Improve storming, ma'am. STROMING.
This brainstorming? Is he talking about this?
Brainstorming, ma'am.
Oh, actually, brainstorming is very easy to do. If you want, I can teach you in another webinar. You can use mind map to brainstorm. It's not difficult. And you can learn in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, The idea is because these are all skills. And skills need practice. So if you don't practice, you lose it. I'll give you one simple, since you have asked. Do you know how to make mind maps? Just ask Brother Kautham. Let me know whether you know how to make mind maps. This brainstorming? Is he talking about this?
Brainstorming.
Oh, actually, brainstorming is very easy to do. If you want, I can.
Ma'am, he told.
Huh?
Ma'am, I know to make mind maps.
Okay, fantastic. Once you know, so what you should do, brother, let us say you want to brainstorm for you want to brainstorm for I'll give you one simple, since you have asked. Do you know how to make mind maps? The problem, my life is so free from problems that I'm thinking about a problem. Okay. Where to go for holidays this summer? What you can do is, first you identify the problem for which you want to find a solution. And there are many other uses of brainstorming. I'm just giving you one use to find solution. Okay. And put a timer like this. You can use your phone. Just put 2 minutes on the timer. Take a paper and pen. There are many websites and apps for making mind maps, but nothing like writing by hand, because when you write by hand, your brain works faster. And 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, don't think whether it is a good idea or a bad idea. Whatever comes to your mind, go on writing in the mind map. Just go on writing. Don't think it is good idea, funny idea. No. Focus on the question, where to go during summer holidays. After you have, in 2 minutes, I'm sure you'll get at least, 25, 30 places. After 2 minutes, you look at your mind map, and now you decide which is a good idea or which is a bad idea. Because when you brainstorm, what actually you do is, whatever is going on in your head, you try to write it on the paper so that you can see it. When you can see it, you can decide whether I like this idea or I don't like it. Am I clear, Brother Gautam? Just go on writing. Don't think it is good idea, funny idea. No. Focus on the question, where to go during summer holidays. Am I clear? After you have, in 2 minutes, I'm sure you'll get at least, 25, 30 places. After 2 minutes, you need to respond, so I move forward. Now you decide which is a good idea or which is a bad idea. Because no response, brainstorm, what actually you do is, whatever is going on in your head. Okay, if you don't want to respond.
Ma'am, another question from Arshia. Another question from Arshia. Time management trying to complete syllabus becomes difficult when we go for open-ended questions. How do we prioritize or justify both?
Go for flipped classroom. Flipped classroom is very good for that, because what happens is, our method of teaching is, we take a textbook and we explain textbook to students. The students have the textbook. We need to give students skills so that they can read the textbook at home, and when they come to the classroom, we can have discussions, we can have debates, and we can do all this right from primary school to university. The problem is that most of the time, I don't know what level you teach, but because the students do not have these academic skills, they find it very difficult to do. A teacher is explaining the textbook. It's a waste of teacher's time. It's a waste of students' time. They should have this competence by the time they are in class 9, class 10. They should be able to understand the textbook. And then from there we jump into discussions and debates. Yeah, any more questions? We can have debates, and we can do all this right from primary school to university.
Ma'am, question from YouTube, ma'am, live stream. How to make a students take active part of I conduct a brainstorming session?
How to
make students take active part of I conduct a brainstorming section.
How to make students take, what's the word after that?
Active part
of
I conduct a brainstorming section.
Eye contact. Why do you want eye contact? Brainstorming is a very, very personal thing. What you are thinking, you write. What I do in my classroom, science tell you. Like, before asking them to write any composition, any essay, any assignment, I give them 2 minutes to brainstorm. They all do it individually. I don't need to look into their eyes. That will be a distraction. They have to think, they have to write, and after they have brainstormed, then they'll decide, what they'll put in the first paragraph, what they'll put in the second paragraph, how they'll arrange their arguments. So brainstorming, teacher is not involved. It is just the student, a paper and a pen.
I conduct a brainstorming section.
Okay, should we move? Brainstorming is a very, very personal thing. What you should Did we move?
Ma'am, another question
Huh?
from YouTube. How can we investigate or teacher knowledge about 21st century skills? What tools or instruments?
Investigate.
Investigate teacher knowledge about 21st century skills.
Is it a principal asking? Then they should ask Dr. Nadira. Come on. Because the person wants to know how to investigate, how to find out if a teacher
Ma'am, from
has...
Nauria, ma'am.
Pardon me?
Nauria.
No, dear. But
Yes.
I'm saying, how to investigate. Look at their
Teach-
work. Look at the teacher's work when you call them for interview. Ask them to bring their assignments, some of their assignments. Or if they have not done, give them a test kind of a thing. Okay, you write on this and you bring. Writing shows you everything, whether this person knows how to think, how to construct sentences, how to put forth their arguments. Writing is very, very, like we think nobody knows. No. Everybody knows from your writing. Okay. Again, there is a hand written. Huzaifa Rashida raised her hand. If there is a question, tell me. Otherwise, I move.
Ma'am,
Yep.
from Izia, when sticking to the syllabus, we need to hurry up to complete the portions, and having a brainstorming may need lots of time.
No, 2 minutes. I told you just 2 minutes brainstorming. You don't brainstorm 24 hours. You know what we can do? What I can see now? It'll be a good idea if we organize, separate webinars on these skills for teachers. It'll be really useful because what has happened is explaining the book is not education. Explaining the book is not education. Students should be prepared in the lower classes, in primary school, in secondary school, to think, to comprehend, to brainstorm. Yes, brainstorming is done in 2 minutes, not more than that, or maybe just 1 minute. Should I move now or wait?
Ma'am, question from Santana. A semester system has burden in practical application. How to give skills to encourage?
See, the trouble is with the skills. There is no shortcut. The person has to practice and practice and practice. Like you want to learn how to play veena, how to sing, how to play guitar. You need to practice and practice and practice for hours. So the problem with our education system is the style we teach is we actually destroy students' learning ability in primary and secondary schools. And when they come to the college, we suddenly want them to have this skill and that skill. Now, poor child, how will he do? Yeah. Any more? Now, no more. No. So I'll quickly move forward now. Critical reading. Critical reading, huh? We finished critical thinking, now we come to critical reading. What is critical reading? It is applying critical thinking skills to read a text for complete comprehension. Now, critical reading skills involve carefully examining and evaluating a text for facts, looking for its intended aims and intentions, which are not clearly explicitly mentioned. This is what we call, you read the line, but you also read between the lines. We should know that. That is critical reading. Therefore, while reading a text critically, we understand the text at a much deeper level. Using what? Using critical thinking and inference and logic and rhetoric. I do not know Tamil, but when I did another webinar on critical reading, the participants told me these terms are right. I hope they are right. Is it? Rhetoric is this, logic is this, and of course I can understand Anumanam because I know Hindi. This is what we call, you read the line, but you also read. Now see this one. Critical reading skills are necessary to teach media literacy, which is part of 21st century skill, especially in the times of false news, fake news, and WhatsApp forward. Everybody is forwarding fake news, fake news, fake news. No, because people have really do not have critical thinking to think whether this news is correct or not. And we needed to prepare students to live and work in the 21st century so that they learn to discover information, arguments, and ideas in a text which aren't explicit. Very important for higher in higher education, especially in when you are doing social sciences or history or comparative literature or research work. Critical reading is also important in learning to evaluate and analyze information, ideas, and arguments for bias. Now this is, I love this illustration. See these two people, this one has got this dagger and this one is running away. But the person recording in the TV camera, see how it looks. The victim looks like he's the perpetrator and perpetrator looks like victim. That is how media deliberately shows part of the picture to create false impression. And if you see any Indian TV discussion, now people, they shout, they fight. We have to educate our students not to be like that. If it is like that, switch off television. That's not worth watching. And this is one example. It appeared only on 26th March, when lockdown started. And this is the Hindu newspaper. And it's a very respectable newspaper. And Deepak Harichandran is a respectable cartoonist. And he put this. And when people started objecting to it, he removed it. Why? What was the objection? What made it Islamophobic? Why is this cartoon Islamophobic? Just get me one or two ideas, please. And this is one example. It appeared only on. Any answer? What makes it Islamophobic? When lockdown started. And this is the Hindu newspaper. And it's a very.
Ma'am, somebody told because of dressing.
And that is true. It is because of the clothes. And see how. Let me put my timer to another 15 minutes. Yeah. Because of the clothes. It is about coronavirus. What is this Afghan dress or Muslim dress is doing? And this is, before Jamaat-e-Islami propaganda started. They made it. So lack of critical thinking makes people bigots, racist, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, anti-women. There is so much anti-women material on the internet. And anti-black. We have seen how this person was killed in America, black man. The policeman sat on his neck until he died. Without critical thinking, this happens. And I'll tell you this one. When I said Jamaat-e-Islami, it happened little later. This is what? 13th April. So this is 26th. Huh? When he made it, there was no connection with Muslims in this spread of coronavirus. But next week, what happened? This is a lot of TV went on that this Tablighi Jamaat is spreading coronavirus. And they call it, jihad. This is corona jihad they are doing. These are two tweets from ANI news agency. ANI full form, this news agency is Asian News International. And it is a very wealthy news agency. Look at their turnover in 17 and 18. 68.23 crores. And they feed news, fake or not, all news to Reuters, and Reuters is around the world. So whatever they feed like this, it goes around the world. And what they have done is, when people started, TV anchors started, or Islamophobic people started blaming Tablighi Jamaat for spreading coronavirus, they use this euphemism, word which does not say, I'm saying you are spreading. They use this word single source contact. Mhm. Now, this is a report by ANI about Bila Rajesh, who gave, Bila Rajesh is health secretary, I believe, in Tamil Nadu. She gave a press conference about how many deaths and how many infections. So, I'm reading this for you. 106 new positive cases reported in Tamil Nadu yesterday, okay, of which 90% are from single source conduct. And keep this word conduct on mind besides single source. Total number of positive cases rises to 1075 in the state of Tamil Nadu, of which 971 cases from single source conduct. Conduct and conduct. Total 11 deaths till now. Bila Rajesh, Tamil Nadu Health Secretary. Now conduct. Now what happened is, next day, Miss Bila Rajesh, she gave a clarification that she did not use this single source contact word, which is a euphemism, another way of blaming Tablighi Jamaat and from Tablighi Jamaat to Muslims for spreading coronavirus. So ANI itself gave this correction. Positive cases, this. Tamil Nadu Health Secretary Bila Rajesh said, but they are still so clever, they don't tell the whole truth. In the note, they said, reporter incorrectly quoted. They don't tell you which reporter. Give me the name. Because it has to be ANI reporter. Who was he? Who was she? Reported incorrectly quoted Tamil Nadu Health Secretary. See, even the English is wrong. It is not healthy secretary. Error is regretted. On April 12, Bila Rajesh did not mention single source contact. She did not utter these words. They have inserted it, and from contact, they put conduct, and again conduct 2 times. So they are trying to connect that these Tablighi Jamaat, they are Muslims, they are spreading coronavirus because their conduct is bad. You got me? So just few words, but how we need to understand text critically. And it is actually very important. Critical reading skills are needed for researchers to differentiate between facts and fiction or propaganda, or because some texts covertly, secretly, written for business purposes and propaganda, but they sell it as real information. Not all reading texts contain bias. In that case, critical reading will still help you because it helps a student in discovering the writer's unique perspective. Like this book, if you get time, read it, Orientalism. Edward Said, he wrote it in 1970s, but still it is so informative. Clash of Civilization, Samuel Huntington. The less I talk about him, the better. Okay, any question? Fiction or propaganda, or because some texts covertly, secretly, written for business purposes and propaganda. No question, no
No,
question.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I got 7 minutes. So now we come to metacognitive skills, and I want you to be very, very quick. Which rice bag you can pick up? Just be very quick. In 30 seconds, tell me which rice bag you can pick up. Like this book, if you get time, read it, Orientalism. Edward Said, he wrote it in any answers, sister? 1970s. But it's still. Okay. Any question? Any answers?
Ma'am, most of them told 5 kg, ma'am. Then from Farga, she's told 15 kg, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now the whole thing is, how did you know you cannot pick up 15 kg? How did you know you cannot pick up 25 kg? How did you know you can only pick up 5 kg? And how this person said 15 kg and not 5 or not 25? That is all metacognitive skill. Because metacognitive skills are our ability to know ourselves, what we can do, what we cannot do. Teachers must develop metacognitive skills because students learn from what they see, not from what they are told to learn, especially the younger ones. So metacognitive skills are also called metacognition, and it refers to higher order thinking skills that involve active control over the cognition and thinking, which is involved in learning. So metacognition helps a learner in deciding the best way to learn something new, monitor how they are learning. When you are learning, the learner will also monitor, am I learning all right or am I not learning? Then evaluate the process towards the completion of the task. Will continue seeing, am I going towards the completion of the task or am I going astray somewhere else? And also to know if you have completed the task or not. All this is needed. Metacognition is the learner's awareness of their own knowledge, if they have this knowledge or not. Like you said, you can pick up 5 kg, 15 kg, you have this knowledge. So the learner knows if they have this knowledge or not. It is their ability to understand if they have understood or not, and their ability to control and use their cognitive skills, mind skills. In other words, metacognition is our mental ability, or you can call it awareness, to automatically know our own strengths and weaknesses. About knowledge, skill, knowledge and skill we have or would need to acquire.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yep.
Dear participants, kindly mute your audio and video.
I know, I can hear some men.
Please mute your audio. Participants, please kindly mute your audio.
If somebody's audio is on, you will not be able to do it now because. Okay, let's continue. So,
Okay.
teaching metacognition using project-based tasks. So this is an example. Shoot a 5-minute video to promote tourism in Kilakaran. Now, a task like this actually involves a teacher. Where are the social skills? Where are they? Oh, I missed it because it is connected with this. So let me have this one first. I'm sorry, I missed this somehow. Here. This is a task, social skills. Teacher has given shoot a 5-minute video to promote tourism in Kilakaran. Teaching through a task like this, the teachers must have social skills to cooperate with other teachers, be part of a team, or be the leader. What is the benefit? A task like this involves learning so many skills, which are 21st century skills. For example, the student will be researching, learning academic skills, shooting, physical and IT skills, editing, physical and IT skills, what time to shoot, evaluation, higher order thinking skills, asking a friend to help with, that is shooting, help with shooting, that is social skills, preparing a timetable for shooting, organizational skills, recording the music and commentary, this is IT artistic skills. You can see again so many physical skills, taking responsibility, organizational skills.
Excuse me.
And yeah,
Nizat, kindly mute your audio.
oh, thank you. Okay, so communication skills, social skills, critical thinking. Task which looks so simple involves learning so many different skills. So now, if we use this task, this one, to teach metacognitive skills, what can teachers do? Teachers can give the students something like this. Prepare your proposal for shooting and all by 1st July. And after you have seen through their proposal, normally what I do is I give this kind of a work as group work, and I ask all groups to present whatever is their proposal to the whole class so that others in the class can give their opinion. And that kind of peer critiquing is so important. Normally, I don't have to add anything. Somebody or the other will find those mistakes. And you will also see that students, they may make those mistakes themselves. They cannot see it in their own work. But when somebody else makes that mistake, they can spot it. So take a proposal by 1st July, prepare a first draft, which is due on 15 July and date of submission 31st July. So you'll keep a student on task, move from here to here to here. In between these dates, what will happen? Just the student will start. We'll go number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The student will plan and organize. They'll make a list of all the places they want to include. They'll decide which places to include and which not to include. They will divide the project into subtasks and prepare a timetable to shoot. So they are learning, planning, and organizing. Then direct and manage your own learning. That is step 2. Students will think when they can work well, what makes them lose attention. So they'll think, okay, my mind works better in the morning. I think tomorrow I'll go and shoot. Tomorrow I'll write. They'll become aware of their own strengths and weaknesses. They will think whom to ask for help if needed. Asking for help is a good idea. If you don't know something, go ask somebody who knows. They'll monitor their own work. Students will keep track of, because there are 3 dates, I have to give it on 1st July. They will seek help if they need, as we talked about. It's a good thing to seek help, but you should not be dependent on other people. They must think if they are putting in their best effort or not. If they are not putting in their best effort, they must put in. 4th step, they must evaluate their work. So after they have completed the work, they should look at it. Imagine they are the teacher, look at your own work. If you have done it well, good. Tomorrow you can go and submit. If there is some other idea which you would like to change, you better change it now. And normally I teach my students, if it is due on 1st July, you complete it 2 days before so that you have time to revise in case you need to. And for that, if you want, you can even give them on what basis you will assess this task. Now the student has to think if they are satisfied with their work or not, or if they need to modify, they'll do it. Step 5, reflect and assess your work. Now student will think what helped them in completing their work well. They'll also think if strategies they used to complete the work were useful or not. They will think if they would like to make any changes if they were asked to do a similar project next time. And if they think they are not happy with their strategies, they'll think how they'll modify. So just by including these things, you will realize the student learns much more than what we expected them to learn. So second point is that the teachers should ask the students to reflect and assess. When you collect this, before you collect on 31st July, ask them to reflect and assess their work. What normally I do and many other teachers do is we ask them to write few words about what helped them in completing the work well, what strategies they used to complete the work, and ask them to think if you would like to make any changes. They have to write it before they submit it to me. Third idea is that the teachers can ask the students to fill a rubric like this about their experience of making the video. In group projects, make sure that each student fills this rubric separately. So writing script shooting, I found this task quite difficult. They can put what they enjoyed, they can write, what they improve, they can write, and what in my next project, whatever they want to do, improve, change, they can write here. These are open answers. So this is it for today. Any questions?
Participant Julia, any questions kindly ask. Kindly mute your audio.
वो क्या की बड़ी काम वाली तो कान में गटकल दी या जेब वाले कम जरूरत को नाइटी में मीटिंग थी
Any questions?
Participants, do you have any question? Kindly ask.
In my next project, whatever they want to change, they can write. These are open answers. No questions? So this is it for today. Any questions? Okay, if there is no question,
No questions, ma'am.
okay. Tomorrow we'll talk about creativity. How teachers can improve their creativity because it has finally to be transferred to the students. Creativity. Okay, so we'll deal with creativity inshallah tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all the participants. We will meet tomorrow.
Participants will submit.
Day-2 assignment link has sent through the chat box. Kindly make use of it. No questions. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum we'll meet tomorrow, ma'am.
Inshallah, we'll meet tomorrow.
Inshallah.
It has finally to be transferred to the students. Okay, so we'll deal with creativity tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all the participants. We will meet tomorrow.
Participants will submit.
Day-2 assignment link has sent through the chat box. Kindly make use of it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum we'll meet tomorrow, ma'am.
Inshallah, we'll meet tomorrow.
Inshallah.